How many times do we push away exactly what we need and what we're asking for because we're too stubborn to see it in a different light? Coming up right after this. Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. Every once in a while something happens and a situation comes up and I see a possibility for, it teaches me so much, or it shows so much, or it illustrates so much that I really want to share it with other people because I think that we all can learn from it. I had a situation the other night where I got a call from an individual in another state. And this individual was looking for hypnosis. Now, I am going to be very delicate about how I do this because what the individual wanted was rather unusual, but it is not something that I have not heard before. I have had people ask me for this before, and it's a little out there, rather unusual. A lot of people would be very uncomfortable when confronted with someone coming to them and saying, "Hey, would you hypnotize me so that this will happen?" And to be honest, it was a situation. Sometimes when you're a hypnotist, you get things happen where you're like, I don't know, I really don't want. I don't really want to be part of that one. I have had people ask me for things that were so strange and so out there that I was like, no, I really don't want to do this. But this was an individual who I realized what was at the source of it. I realized that he was suffering, and I realized that this was something that he wanted for a reason. And as we talked a little more, I explained that I understood the reason, and he said, "Well, what's the reason?" And I explained that there was a great deal of guilt going on, and he totally opened up then, and it was exactly what was going on. There was an incredible amount of guilt, and he wanted this situation for a specific reason. And I knew what the reason was. But what he wanted to do and how he wanted to go about it was extremely dangerous. And whenever I get in a situation where I'm working with an individual, either through hypnosis or when I work with their astrology or work with their cosmology, or I do a reading for someone, I look at the situation and I usually ask, is there something that positive that I can provide to this situation that will give the individual something that they need so that they can get what they need from the situation? So it's not about me, it's about, is there something that I can provide in the situation? Now, this was not something that, what he was wanting and the way he was wanting it would require a great deal of imagination on my part in investing in something that quite frankly was very negative. And I told him flat out, I said, I really don't have the desire to sit around thinking up these scenarios, these very negative scenarios So I said, look, I'll tell you what, after we talked for a little while and I very much realized what was going on, I said, I will call you back. I will think about it and I will call you if I change my mind. Okay? So, and he asked me how much does it cost, and I told him the price and everything, and he said, well, how much did you charge? That was like one of the first things, and he's like, okay, that's not a problem. And in fact, he wanted to do multiple sessions. That wasn't a problem. I was like, all right, fine, So I said, well, the problem is that I think that it's going to put you in a very dangerous situation, and you could be in a situation where it could cause great harm, and I am not interested in causing harm to a person or creating more damage where there is already damage done. But I will think about it, and if I come up with a way, or if I come up with an idea, or if I come up with something, I will contact you. And he says, please text me, and then I'll call you. So last night, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I had right after our and as I was up, I had it. I knew exactly what to do and how it would not only fulfill what he wanted and needed, but it would give him exactly what he needed. And I looked in, and then I looked into the situation because I was curious, and I looked into it with divination, I looked into it with the I Ching, I looked into it with the Demo, and everything lined up to confirm what I was, thinking. And I said, I know exactly how to approach this. But as a hypnotist, you need to know that a person can follow instructions. It's the first thing you need to know. So I said, well, I know that I can do this, and if the person can follow instructions, then this is what then I know that this is going to work. So I wrote him immediately, and I said, hey, I wrote him today, and I said, hey, look, you're going to be hypnotized. Send the money to the PayPal, then call me. And that was it. Those are the instructions. Those are the simple instructions. I said, hey, you follow the instructions, everything will go great. And I knew if he could follow instructions that, I knew exactly what I had to do. And then the individual, it was a little break, and then he texted me back, and he's like, why? Why do you want to do it all of a sudden? He said, you said you didn't want to do it the way I wanted you to do it. Well, now, there were several things that were wrong with that statement, which I can't go into because it explains a little bit more about what the individual wanted. And like I said, I'm being delicate about this. I realized then that he wasn't willing to or couldn't follow the instructions, and so the hypnosis would not be effective over the phone, which was my main concern. Could we do it over the phone? Because I have hypnotized clients over the phone. I have some clients that were regulars that would call me all the time. But in this particular case, I was like, this is not going to work. He's not going to follow the instructions. It's not going to work. And in this situation, it would be very dangerous because what the individual wanted in the long run could be extremely dangerous to him. But I was like, you know what? You have a choice. Follow the instructions or go another way. And he says, oh, I'm going to go another way. And I was like, super. Good luck. And I mean that, I really mean that. When I say good luck to someone, I mean it. Good luck, with what you're doing. But here's the situation. I figured out exactly how to give the individual what he wanted and what he was asking for. And I knew exactly how to give him what he really wanted and what he really needed. But he was so hung up on a specific idea that he was hung up in his mind, something he was clinging to very strong. It had to look this way, the way he wanted it to look. Now, here's the problem with that. He doesn't know how hypnosis works. He doesn't know how the mind works. He doesn't know what a hypnotist really does. He doesn't know how a hypnotist does it. He doesn't know that the protocol a hypnotist follows. He doesn't know what the processes we do, and he doesn't know all of the areas that I was pulling from in order to get this information and how I was going about it. He didn't know any of that. He decided that it had to look a certain way, which was unlikely not going to work. It was setting him up for failure and not going to give him what he was actually asking for. But he was so hung up on the image that he had in his mind, the view he had in his mind of the way that it had to look, that he pushed away the very thing that he desperately wanted and the very thing that he really desperately needed, which is a shame. Because I was like, oh, it's a shame, because I think it really would have worked. This taught me so much. First of all, a lot of people who are clients, they'll tell me something that's going on in their life, and they're like, well, this is crazy or something, and I'm like, okay, or they're like, well, this is a situation. I'm like, okay, and I don't judge it because it just is. It is where it is. Well, for one thing, we're all human beings who are here, and we're stuck on this wheel of samsara, and it's spinning, and we're suffering. That's the first thing. And people get in these situations, and it's like, look, that's the situation you're in. That's it. This is what the oracles say, or this is what the chart says, and that's it. When we hang on to this is the good, this is the bad, this is the way it should be, this is the way it shouldn't be, we block ourselves from getting truth, we block ourselves from getting answers. And there's a real thing going on these days too, which I think I'm gonna mention. I did a story yesterday on my Instagram that was a joke about how to be a new age social media sensation, and someone said to me, well, this is all true, but it sounds like you're disappointed in something. And I said, well, why do we have to always qualify truth with but? Why can't we just accept truth for truth? Why are we living at a time where truth has to be qualified with but? Well, yeah, that's true, but. No, truth is truth, and that's it. In a situation where this individual wanted hypnosis, the truth of the matter was what he was saying and what he wanted wasn't going to work. And if it did work, it was going to put him in a very dangerous situation, which was going to cause a lot more damage than was necessary for what he was trying to make happen. And in this case, he believed damage was necessary. But the amount of damage that he was trying to apply to the situation would have made things so out of control and so much worse that in the long run, what would have come out of it would have been horrifying. And still may, if he finds someone who does it, who tries to do it the way that he does. But what he was really asking for, what he was really wanting, it could have happened, and it could have helped him get there, but he wanted it to look a certain way, and he was clinging so tightly to that he missed the opportunity to really get the thing that he wanted, because he was clinging to his ignorance and something that he didn't even understand, which in no way would have looked like or given him what it really would have been had he really understood what the process was and how it works. So when this all came out, I realized so much, and I was like, well, first of all, don't judge the situation, and I do this actually when I hypnotize, because I have people ask me for hypnotism for very unusual things, and I'm like, all right, sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to do that. I don't really want to hypnotize someone for that time. Like if someone really wants me to create a lot of damage in their life, and if I can affect the situation positively and bring about what the individual wants and bring about something that can create a positive solution, then I'm all for it. But the other thing is that we cling to things and we think it's supposed to look a certain way. And because we're clinging to that thing, and because we think that it's supposed to look this way, it's supposed to feel this way, it's supposed to appear the way our ignorance casts it, we miss the opportunity to see the truth of the situation. And we miss the opportunity to actually get what it is that we are asking for. Think about that. It happens all the time. And how many times in your life has clinging to something that looked a certain way, and you're like, hey, it's got to look this way. Did you push away the thing that was real? And if you go back to my predictions for this month, the wood monkey, I said in that, go for the substance, not the flash. Go for the real truth. Go for what really will do the job, not for what you not for the ignorant thing that you think that you're clinging to, that you think is going to provide the relief, but the real thing that will give you what you really need and what you're really asking for. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you guys would like to make an appointment with me to get a reading, to get a crystal mirror done. Crystal mirror is where I make a portal of your life. I look at the elements in it, and I can shove energy into it to make things happen by using specific bond processes. These are insanely detailed and accurate and amazing. If you want to get a crystal mirror done, contact me 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. Or if you want me to do a card reading for you, I can do that. I can do these right away. Within the next week, I have some openings to do these. But if you want your chart done, that's going to take a little while. I got a waiting list for them. If you want your Tibetan astrology chart done, contact me again, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com, and I can do your chart for you. But there's like at least a 3-month waiting list, at least, right now. But it's worth it, and I'm working through as quickly as I can, and I'm getting faster and faster and faster at them. I'm trying to get them down to a week per chart. So, hey, if you want to take a class in how to read the tarot, or a class in how to read Lenormand, or a class in how to read Mexican Loteria, how to read crystal balls, or how to read playing cards, and I got advanced or intermediate in playing cards, advanced or beginning in playing cards, advanced or beginning in tarot, contact me, 779-302-8009, conjurehope@gmail.com. Hey, remember, sometimes the thing we're clinging to, sometimes the image we're clinging to, sometimes the idea we have, it's just not real. It usually isn't real. And then when the real thing comes in, because we're so busy clinging to the thing that's not real, we miss the opportunity to get the thing that really has substance, that really can do what we really want it.